بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف. اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم. اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to have our second session on merits of learning and seeking knowledge. As you remember, we were discussing a hadith that the second martyr, Shaheed Thani Rizwanullah Ta'ala Alayh, in Munyatul Murid, quoted from Imam Ridha alayhi salam, from his fathers, and finally from Rasulullah, starting with Talabul Ilm Faridatun ala kulli Muslim. And then we were talking about some of the other topics in this hadith. We said that for a seeker of knowledge, everything is appreciative. They all do istighfar. يستغفر لهم كل رطب ويابس. Everything that is there in this world would ask for forgiveness. حتى حيتان البحر. Even fish in the air or other kinds of animal, أنعامه, etc., they all seek forgiveness for a seeker of knowledge. And I explained, because this world is made as a place for gaining ma'rifah, so when you use it for the purpose for which it is made, everything is friendly and at your service. Like a school. For a student who wants to learn, everything is helpful. Every person is helpful. All the facilities are for this purpose. But if you want to do something else in the school, you face problems, one after the other. Because the school is not made, for example, for, I don't know, playing or, for business or whatever, If someone wants to sell things inside this classroom, for example, everyone would be unhappy. Okay, now we reached here. إن العلم حياة القلوب من الجهل وضياء الأبصار من الظلمة وقوة الأبدان من الضعف. You can hear? It's the voice. Okay. Knowledge is the life for the hearts. Jahl is like the death. Life of Islam, life of a human being, all depend on knowledge. I think I quoted maybe for you hadith that says al-ilmu hayatul Islam. Knowledge is also the light for the eyes. Imagine if you are in a room which is completely dark, you cannot see anything. Yeah, if a room is completely dark, you cannot see anything. The same is with someone who has no knowledge, is ignorant, cannot see anything, cannot see who is right, who is wrong, what should he do, what he shouldn't do, etc. وَقُوَّةُ الْأَبْدَانِ مِنَ الضَّعْفِ. Our body, first of all, is very vulnerable. Yeah? Allahumma arham dha'fa badani. Plus, when you go towards, higher age, man nu'ammirhu ننكسه في الخلق. Yeah? When you become old, even you become weaker. But if you have knowledge, you overcome this physical weakness. You see, maybe a marja is physically not very strong, but he can have influence on lives of tens of millions of people. Yeah? No sportsman has that strength. قوة الأبدان من الضعف يبلغ بالعبد منازل الأخيار ومجالس الأبرار. If you seek knowledge and have proper knowledge, a knowledge that makes you a better person, a knowledge that is light, that makes you a better servant of Allah, this will take you to the stations of akhyar, people who are good, and gatherings of abrar, the righteous people. So with knowledge you will be raised. وَالدَّرَجَاتِ الْعُلَى فِي الْآخِرَةِ. Knowledge can take you to high position. You know, I think I said the ayah in the Quran, يَرْفَعِ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ دَرَجَاتٍ. Allah raises those who have iman, and then based on their knowledge they will go higher and higher. Then hadith continues and says that if you study knowledge together, mudarasatuhu. Mudarasa means when you do a study together. Okay, like discussion. If you remember, we had muzakara, muzakaratul ilm. Now here mudarasa. I suggested, and I think some of you said, inshallah, you will do it, that if you have a time, that discuss with each other what we discuss here. You know, repeat for each other mubahatha. It's very helpful. Mudarasatul ilm is like qiyam, is like salatul layl, or qiyam for like uprising for the sake of Allah. It can be both. Bihi yuta'u rabb wa yu'bad. With knowledge Allah is obeyed and worshipped. Bihi tusalul arham. With knowledge saliyya rahim can happen. People can connect with the kinship. Yu'raful halal wal haram. How can you know halal and haram without knowledge? Wal ilmu imamun wal amalu tabi'uh. Ilm is like a leader, and action follows knowledge. If you don't have knowledge, you cannot have good actions. يلهمه السعداء ويحرمه الأشقياء. Sa'id is opposite to shaqi. Sa'id is the one who is fortunate, who has happiness, felicity. Shaqi is the one who is not fortunate, yeah, who is in bad situation. So those who are Sa'id, they have felicity. They will be inspired to learn and to have knowledge. Ashqiya, like you know, we say Ibn Muljam was in Du'ai Nudbih, say qatalahu ashqal ashqiya, yeah, means those who have no fortune. They will be deprived of knowledge. They don't get tawfiq of learning and acquiring knowledge. فَتُوبَى لِمَنْ لَمْ يَحْرُمْهُ اللَّهُ مِنْ حَظِّهِ. So it's a kind of bishara, it's a congratulations for the people that Allah has not deprived them from getting their share of knowledge, benefiting from knowledge. So if you have tawfiq for learning, you must be very grateful and work hard to maintain it. It comes with difficulty but can go away easily. Yeah? It's like if you want to take fish with hands. It's very difficult to take it and very easy to lose it. In this day and age, to be able to learn is like this. It's very difficult. You have to do lots of things to get time, and then easily you may lose the opportunity. So you have to be very committed. Are you committed? Inshallah. It seems so. Alhamdulillah. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam says, Ayyuhan nas, O people, O mankind. Does it include us or not? Yeah, we are nas. It includes us. اعلموا أن كمال الدين طلب العلم والعمل به. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, yeah, it's not a scholar or a mujtahid, although we respect them, we love them, but master of believers, yeah, commander of the faithful. Babu Madinat Ilm al-Nabi, he says, Kamal Din, the perfection of religion is talabul ilm wal amalu bih, seeking knowledge and acting upon it. So if you want to rise towards perfection in religion, what is the way? Talabul ilm wal amalu bih. ألا وإن طلب العلم أوجب عليكم من طلب المال. Amir al-Mu'mineen says seeking knowledge is more necessary, more obligatory than seeking money. Mal means money. Yes, we have to work. We have to do our part. But when it comes to rizq, Allah has guaranteed. You do your part. It's not that you stay home and do nothing, but that is guaranteed. You just, do your part. But when it comes to knowledge, Allah didn't guarantee that, you will be granted knowledge. You have to seek knowledge. Okay? إن المال مقسوم مضمون لكم. Mal is something which is distributed and guaranteed for you. قد قسمه عادل بينكم. Allah who is just has distributed. But al-ilm, then he reaches this point and says, al-ilmu makhzunun inda أهله فاطلبوه. But knowledge is saved with its people. You need to go and seek knowledge. Okay? So, if you don't give priority to seeking knowledge, Amir al-Mu'mineen says it's more necessary. At least treat them equally. How many hours you spend per week for work? 40 hours, 20 hours, 30? Okay, at least give the same amount to a study. If not, at least 1 hour, 2 hours per day, or like 10 hours per week if during the day you are very busy. Otherwise, I cannot see how we can answer to Amir al-Mu'mineen. He said, I told you this is more necessary. You say, but we didn't have any time. We were so busy with other things. And time is something that needs organization, management. Okay? Time is not something that comes to you and says, Salam, I am available. Do you want to study now? No. You have to, place, like you have a storage, you have to put things in different places, use organizers, so you can create a space. Otherwise, few items can fill all the room. One of ulama, Sahib Urwa, says, Tawzi'ul waqt, tawsi'uhu. When you distribute your time properly, then you are expanding your time. Everyone has 24 hours per day, but we see some people seems they have 48 hours, 60 hours. Why? Because they're organized. Yeah? Also, Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam said, Al-alim afdalu min as-sa'im al-qa'im al-mujahid. Alim is better than someone who is fasting. Not just months of Ramadan. If someone is just fasting the months of Ramadan, we don't say he's sa'im. If someone is always fasting, except haram days, 2 days are haram to fast, yeah? Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. Yes? Yes. Someone said, I have made all the sins except 2 sins. I never fasted on the day of Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. So, if every day you fast except haram days, al-qa'im, every night you do tahajjud, and you do jihad for the sake of Allah, struggle for the sake of Allah, still if you are not alim, you are not equal to alim, who may not fast except when it's wajib, who may not do salatul layl, who may not be involved in jihad, physical jihad, militant jihad, but is educating people. Of course, if alim is fasting is better, if doing salatul layl is better, if it's alim is mujahid is better. But midadul ulama afdal min dima al-shuhada. The ink of ulama is better than the blood of martyrs. If alim is martyr, then of course better. So, our greatest enemy is ignorance. And the heroes are seekers of knowledge and teachers, scholars, those who spread knowledge against ignorance. وَإِذَا مَاتَ الْعَالِمُ, I'm sure you have heard this hadith many times. ثَلُمَ فِي الْإِسْلَامِ الثُّلْمَ لَا يَسُدُّهَا. In some versions says لا يسدها شيء. Here says لا يسدها إلا خلف منه. When an alim dies, a hole will be made in Islam. There's a gap. Nothing can fill this gap. Or here says nothing can fill except someone who will succeed. Khalaf, someone who is successor to this alim. Means only an alim can fill this gap. But it takes time. You know, sometimes I say this example. I say an alim, when he is with a community for 30 years, 40 years, so it means that he has been with several generations. Yeah? Because every generation is like 20, 25 years. Okay? So, you see the person, then you see the child becomes father. So, you see the grandfather, father and child. Sometimes you see maybe more generations, but at least normally an alim can see 3 generations. So, imagine this person that from childhood has seen this alim, has attended his lectures, his salat, asked questions. He has maybe recited his act. I don't know, child has been born, has done azan, iqamah, etc. So this alim is very much part of their understanding of themselves, part of their identity, parts of their faith. Okay? It's a pillar. If this alim dies, they all feel great loss. Even if we bring a good alim, it takes time till all these things can be established. Maybe you cannot actually establish because it is too late. Like, you know, if you have very old tree with all the roots, etc. Okay? if this dies, you cannot bring even an old tree with all the roots and replace. It doesn't work. It takes time. So that makes the roots here. Okay? Or like, for example, historical monuments. If they are demolished, you cannot make another historical monument. So now we are making historical. It takes time to become historical. Yeah? So the gap cannot be filled. May Allah inshallah protect for us our ulama. You know Kumail ibn Ziyad al-Nakha'i. He was very close to Amir al-Mu'mineen. And we have some hadiths that Amir al-Mu'mineen said to Kumail. One of them is this one. Ya Kumail, al-ilmu khayrun min al-mal. Knowledge is better than money. Al-ilmu yahrusuka wa anta tahrusul mal. Knowledge protects you, but you have to protect money. Actually, if you have more money, you are more prone to be attacked or robbed. وَالْعِلْمُ حَاكِمٌ وَالْمَالُ مَحْكُومٌ عَلَيْهِ. Knowledge is able to make decision, to rule, but money, they have to make decision for it. وَالْمَالُ تَنْقُصُهُ النَّفَقَةِ. If you spend money, it becomes less, unless you do it for the sake of Allah. If you give it, as sadaqah, it becomes back. But if you spend on eating, buying something, it goes. But knowledge yazku alal infaq. But when you share your knowledge grows. Yeah, one of the best ways for maintaining and growing your knowledge is to be teaching. When you teach, there is barakah. Not only they learn, you also learn better, you remember better, you go deeper. Imam Zainul Abidin says, also we have it maybe from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, similar. لو يعلم الناس في طلب العلم. If people know what is there in seeking knowledge, لطلبوه ولو بسفك المهج وخوض اللجج. If people know what is there, what value is there in seeking knowledge, they would do so even if their blood will be shed, even if they have to go through the waves in the ocean. Okay? Suppose if you go for learning, maybe they attack you. Okay? Alhamdulillah, we have safety, but it's not always safe. If you know how much is there, if you know that this is a jihad, then you would not say, because I'm in danger, I stop learning. You would go even if it is dangerous, or even if it is very difficult. You have to go through difficulties by traveling into oceans, etc. Alhamdulillah, now we have peace, we have safety. Even people respect us when we go to learn. Yeah, we don't have any hujjah to say to Allah, why I didn't learn. Everything is available, everyone is encouraging. Yeah, but it was not always like this. Even now, in some places, not like this. In some places, they don't let Shia to have any school, any hawza. It's. Imam Baqir alayhi salam said, "Man allama baba hudan, فَلَهُ مِثْلُ أَجْرِ مَنْ عَمِلَ بِهِ. Whoever teaches a gate of guidance. So if you open up a gate of guidance for some people, for example, you teach them how to say their salat, you teach them how to be good with their family, I don't know, you teach them something, فَلَهُ مِثْلُ أَجْرِ مَنْ عَمِلَ بِهِ. Then you get the same reward of those people who have acted upon this knowledge. Okay? So if you teach 10 people, you get a reward of 10 people. But sometimes then these 10 people teach also another 10 people, it becomes 100. And this continues. We are now today studying here, but all our previous ulama that we are benefiting from the knowledge are getting share. Shahid Sani is now happy in Barzakh that we are studying his book. Sheikh Kulaini is happy that we are studying the hadith that he has quoted. All of them gain, generation after generation. It's a very good business. Without tax. وَلَا يَنْقُصُ أُولَٰئِكَ مِنْ أُجُورِهِمْ شَيْئًا. You get the reward of every person, but not that they will lose. They will also get the reward. Okay? They will get the reward, and you will get the total of what they do. So it's very generous from Allah that He doesn't reduce He doesn't say, okay, 50% for your teacher, 50% for you. No, 100% for you, 100% also for your teacher, and 100% for the teacher of the teacher. And like this goes on. But God forbid, وَمَنْ عَلَّمَ بَابَ الظَّلَالَ كَانَ عَلَيْهِ مِثْلُ أَوْزَارِ مَنْ عَمِلَ بِهِ. Wizr means burden. If someone misguides people and says people, for example, don't do this, or for example, don't go to learn, don't go to masjid, I don't know, it stops something, don't go for ziyarah. Anyway, the burden is on them, but also on the person who misguided them. They cannot say, we have no responsibility. Okay? So that person has the burden of all the people that he has misguided. وَلَا يَنْقُصُ أُولَٰئِكَ مِنْ أَوْزَارِهِمْ شَيْئًا. But their burden is also not reduced. Okay? So they are responsible. Everyone is responsible. Because you are aqil. Why you listened? But still the person who misguided them is also like shaitan. Shaitan is responsible for misguiding people, but people who are misguided and listen to shaitan are also responsible. Imam Baqir alayhi salam also said, are you ready for this hadith? Yes? Please say salawat. عالم ينتفع بعلمه or ينتفع بعلمه. An alim who benefits from his knowledge, or people benefit from his knowledge. Okay? أفضل. He is better than, then there is a number, abid. Can you guess how many abid? Abid. Abid is someone who is just worshipping. Imagine if you have in London an abid, means he's always worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is not distracted by dunya. He is not doing any ghaiba, any tuhma, any haram. Imagine someone is just doing ibadah, fasting, reciting Quran, salat. It's amazing, yeah, to be abid. But if there is alim, that people benefit from his knowledge, and there is abid, this alim is many times better than that abid. Okay? How many times? 70. Is there any more?
But the 70 is like that, just that number.
Ah.
The number of
1,000. More? It's an action. 10,000 is good?
Sounds good.
Imam Baqir says, أفضل من 70,000 عابد. Is better than 70,000 abid. Where is this hadith? Shahid Sani quotes from Al-Kafi, one of our best and most reliable collection of hadith. Hadith number 8 in the chapter about Sifatul Ilm wa Fadlihi. You know, so it means that when we say something is 70,000 times better than something else, it means that you cannot compare them. It's in different caliber, different level, yeah? So if you have 70,000, you know, I don't think, maybe in Northwest London we have 70,000 Shia. I don't know, maybe we have, I don't know. Maybe we don't have 70,000 here. But imagine if we had 70,000 Abid here. All of them, they are not doing ibadah. And we have one alim that people benefit from his knowledge. That one is better than these 70,000. What implications this has for us as people, as community? How we should encourage people, how should we facilitate? Lots of implications it has. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, Man allama khayran, similar to what we had from Imam Baqir alayhi salam. Imam Sadiq said, Man allama khayran falahu mithlu ajr man amila bih. Whoever teaches something good, he would have similar to the reward of those who act upon it. قلت, the narrator of hadith says, I ask Imam Sadiq, فَإِنْ عَلَّمَهُ غَيْرَهُ يَجْرِي ذَلِكَ لَهُ. If then this person teaches another person, again this continues for him. Imam said, إِنْ عَلَّمَهُ النَّاسُ كُلَّهُمْ جَرَى. Even if he teach all people, he gets a reward. قُلْتُ فَإِنْ مَاتَ. If he dies, Imam said, وَإِنْ مَاتَ. So even after he dies, still he gets benefit. Yeah? Because this is not a new action. When you die, you cannot start a new action. But if you have done an action during your life, which is bearing fruit after you die, that's fine. Yeah? This is like sadaqiyya jariyah. Also, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, Innal ulama warathatul anbiya. Ulama are the heirs, are those who inherit from the prophets. Innal anbiya lam yuwarrithu dirhaman wala dinaran. We are not talking about inheriting money, golden coin, silver coin. We are talking about knowledge. إِنَّمَا وَرَّثُوا أَحَادِيث. Prophets left for us some sayings, some teachings. Who is now gaining the legacy, the inheritance of prophets? Ulama. فَمَنْ أَخَذَ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنْهَا فَقَدْ أَخَذَ حَظًّا وَافِرًا. Whoever gains something from these hadiths which are left for us has gained a lot. Even if you gain one beautiful hadith that can help you, it's a lot. فَانْظُرُوا عِلْمَكُمْ هَذَا أَمَّنْ تَأْخُذُونَهُ. You remember we said, take knowledge from its people. Here also says, Imam says, look carefully from whom you are getting this knowledge. فإن فينا أهل البيت في كل خلف عدولا. This is a bashara. In a school of Ahlul Bayt, in every generation we have good people, we have righteous people. ينفون عنه تحريف الغالين وانتحال المبطلين وتأويل الجاهلين. We have proper ulama that they don't let zealots who exaggerate to distort, or those who want to bring their ignorant ideas or false ideas to religion. There are ulama who protect religion. You must gain your knowledge from these people, from sources. This is why for us, referring to maraja, gaining our knowledge from major ulama, major hawzas are very important. Don't get knowledge from black market. Okay? It's not safe, even if it's cheaper. Also, Imam Sadiq said, إِذَا أَرَادَ اللَّهُ بِعَبْدٍ خَيْرًا فَقَّهَهُ فِي الدِّينِ. If Allah wants something, very good for you, what does He do? There are several things that are mentioned in our hadith. None of them is that much about dunya. Yes, of course, maybe you will have, enough of rizq. But the main thing is that you gain some intellectual, spiritual gifts. One of them is you will be given deep knowledge in religion. Another one that we have in some hadith, is not here in some hadith, is you will get insight into your problems and deficiencies, your faults. Basarahu uyubah. It's very important to be able to see our problems. Like a person, if he's ill, doesn't know he is ill, is a problem. Yeah, for sure we have lots of moral problems, moral issues. If Allah loves you, will open your eyes to see your problems. But this is not physical like this, basira. Basarahu uyubah. وَزَهَّدَهُ فِي الدُّنْيَا. Also you will have zuhd, lack of interest in dunya. One of them is فَقَّهَهُ فِي الدِّينِ. You will be given deep knowledge about faith. Okay, we stop here. Inshallah, bi'iznillah. We will have one more session to continue this discussion. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all the blessings that we have received, and in particular for the blessing of having tawfiq to learn and having access to the teachings of the Prophets and Ahlul Bayt through the hard work of our ulama. May Allah elevate their ranks, inshallah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Is there any question? We are going to have a break and then inshallah we resume. You can have your question now or after break, whatever you like. Yes.
Thank you for your talk.
You're welcome.
Just two questions. So, on a practical level, if you are sort of my age, mid-40s, and you are starting your journey now, of course, we all have the basic knowledge. How would you start? Because you're bombarded with, you have the Quran and it's important to know what the Quran is talking about. Then you have books like Najm al-Balagha, you have Sifat al-Sajadiyya, and you almost get torn as to where to go. Of course, the Quran takes precedence, but practically managing, especially as women, we have children to look after. how do you practically start the journey? One. Two, if I have a young child, how do I as a mother practically advise her to start her journey? Because of course there's more time there.
It's very, very good question. You need to have systematic study. This means that you cannot study everything, and you cannot just say, I start the topics that I have interest in, or for example, even start studying the Quran without any preparation, without any foundation. You have to start with foundation. There are certain things that if you study first, then when you study Quran, you can understand much better. But if you go directly to the Quran without knowing anything about linguistics, sciences, about balagha, about usul al-fiqh, you cannot gain that much. So for a person who is in rush, maybe can start with some lessons on tafsir, but you should plan in the way that inshallah you yourself become able to understand the Quran. Okay? Not that only you learn what is told. It's like someone giving you fish or teaching you how to fish. Which one you want? The second is better. Yeah? So this is why we have a structure. Some people are not patient. Okay? They say, no, we want to quickly go to the a study of Quran or irfan, these kind of things. Okay, they are welcome to do so. But if someone wants to be alim, it wants to be knowledgeable about Islam, to have fiqh, deep knowledge of Islam, it takes few years. But the good thing is that you will have then solid foundation, and it's like instead of buying fruits, you plant fruit trees in your garden. Yeah? Then you will have fresh fruits and you can give to your neighbors as well. Okay? But it needs commitment. So inshallah, hopefully, bi'iznillah, in Farsi we say, Gush shaitan kar, means may ears of Satan be deaf. Okay? So we are going inshallah to start something like this, inshallah, for the people who are serious and they want to have solid foundation, inshallah. Then I will tell you what to start first, second, etc. Inshallah. And for your children, of course, very young children cannot do this. You can start with stories, with basic things, but little by little make them interested in reading, in listening, in attending majalis, in madrasa. So give them interest in knowledge, then give them the content. This is very important. If you are thirsty for knowledge, it's better than without being thirsty, give them too much knowledge and then they don't appreciate. Make them thirsty for knowledge and give them little by little, simple things. One of the things that we need to work in our community in all levels is make the habit of reading books, and listening to serious lectures, because this age, unfortunately, people are impatient. It's age of Twitter or X, and short videos. But with this, you cannot get anything substantial. It's like just having junk food. You need to be reading serious books. You need to get used to listening to serious lectures. this doesn't come. This is not, unfortunately, not the current. The current is, it should be very quick, very fast, very short, with lots of entertainments, lots of, other things around it. People are not very interested in serious learning. So if you bring greatest ulama and say, you speak in Farsi or Arabic, we translate. How many people listen in Muharram to their majalis? Even if we bring Ayatollah Jawadi Amun and say 10 nights he is going to speak, but we need to translate. How many people will go? Not many people. Any question? Okay. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Assalamu alaikum.
Most of the hadith talk about an alim, but what exactly, like what level would an alim be? Do we have any hope of getting there? Is it
Very good question. Very good question. Can you remind me next week to say what is my definition of alim? Okay, inshallah. Yes.
So, for example, we're told when we learn knowledge, if it's true knowledge, it will soften us.
Yes.
When we speak to others, it'll also be soft.
Yes.
How do we so as students, when we come out of studies or whatever little bits that we've done, we can become harsh with people. How do we, and we're told, like, don't be like the youth who, have wisdom. Just how do we inculcate, if we have family members or people that we're around who are more closer to us? I think friends is different, but with family members, how do you relay the truth in a kind, compassionate way without compromising truth?
Actually, in our hadith says this, one of the outcomes of learning knowledge is you become more humble and more thirsty for learning. If you don't gain knowledge properly, you become more arrogant and you feel you know a lot. You don't become thirsty for knowledge. Okay? So when knowledge comes, it makes your capacity more. Okay? You realize that you need to know more. So a student in the first year is less humble than a student in the second year. A student second year is less humble than a student in the third year. Yeah, if they are true seekers of knowledge. By the passage of time, when they reach the level of marja, they must be the most humble one. Yeah, they say, I am a talaba. But the first year a student may say, I am, a prophet. Yeah, because he thinks he knows a lot compared to, his family, etc. Then, little by little, he becomes more and more humble and more kind with people. Yeah. If we don't do it properly, we become harsh, we become arrogant, we think we are better than people, we are superior to people. This is wrong. We need to become more humble and know that this is a gift from Allah. It brings responsibility. I shouldn't think I am better than other people because I have had tawfiq to learn. Yeah? I should be more grateful to Allah and more humble. Maybe they were not given the tawfiq that Allah has given me, but then they have less responsibility also. يغفر للجاهل 70 ذنبا قبل أن يغفر للعالم ذنب واحد. For an ignorant person, 70 sins will be forgiven before one sin of alim is forgiven. Yeah? So it brings honor brings responsibility. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin.